Maggots, Michael.
I love you.
I know.
I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chum some of this shit.
What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
Hell is this?
This is for Brody.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
Give a shit.
Right, we're live.
We're live.
Yes.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast, and it's hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I am the other host, Paul. And tonight is a very special night. Not only are we joined by Nerdy Jesus himself, the lovely Jake, the master behind Gaming Up North and the unleasher of the demon Sonic now, which is just terrifying. We do have...
It wasn't me.
We do have an actual paranormal investigator joining us, Lee from the Brew Brothers, which... We met at HorrorCon only, it feels like only like a few weeks ago, but it probably was a month or so ago now.
Was it?
When was it?
When was it?
It was probably about 4 weeks ago, I think, like that, was it?
No.
Might be a little bit longer than that.
Yeah. Time flies when shit happens.
When we're really fucking busy.
We did have fun, though. We were having fun.
Yes.
We had the best time.
Yes, and Jake was the brave one of us and introduced Nerdy Up North to Lee after you give a speech or like a panel talking about all the things that you do get up to at the event. What we normally do as well when we do get a new person or like a new nerd joining us on the podcast, we do get a little bit to know about them, get your nerdy credentials. So if you can tell us a little bit about yourself there, Lee.
Right.
No pressure.
No pressure.
So yeah, we're basically a team of four. We're called the Boo Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, I know the team are probably watching, but I would class myself as the lead investigator. So,
whoever's on the show gets.
I love how you're looking behind you.
That's because Sarah, my partner, she's part of the team.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've just got her in the corner of my eye, just giving me the death stare. So
if I see a hand coming and giving a clip, it's not the ghost. It's
yeah, it's not a spirit. It will be her.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically we're a team of four.
Mm-hmm.
We go out to basically any locations that's haunted or history of hauntings. Go out, try and find basically evidence of life after death. That's our main goal. We want to know if there is life after death.
Interesting.
Right.
Would you say that there's any did any sort of traditionally nerdy stuff influence you as like a kid? Like, was it stuff like Ghostbusters or like was there anything that kind of set your imagination off like when you were younger, like stuff?
No, not really, but to be fair, there will be something.
No,
to be fair, there will be something there because I am a big gamer.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I played like
the Resident Evil.
Yeah, Resident Evil. Completed every single one. Like even when the Village came out, and I did get the VR just to play it in VR.
Oh, you're a brave man.
Oh,
yeah,
you are so brave. No.
But yeah, I love that type of stuff.
Nice one. So before we start delving into the depths and the interesting information as well, Sammy, do you want to do your disclaimer just so we get that out of the way?
Yeah, well, everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us on our Discord, Facebook page, or the comment section where we can have an open discussion. But what we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong. We can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behavior out of nerdism.
Very well said.
Thank you.
And especially with the subject we are talking to tonight, because, like I say, there is a lot of naysayers or negative people, that we'll call them negative Nancy's, shall we say, who like to be a dick.
Polite way of putting it,
Yeah.
like to be a dick about a lot of things, so especially about this type of subject. But as Jake asked before, how did you kind of get started in this? Like, what was like the initial starting point?
Basically, it was my partner Sarah. She used to go on ghost hunts,
right?
So we just said, well, we've been together like 12 years now,
right?
So it was like, come on, you go and play golf and stuff. Why don't you come and do something that I do, Lee? And I was like, all right, okay. Then I think it was the first ever paranormal experience I had of something like pulling on my jumper and there's nothing behind me.
Right, okay, interesting.
And then the buzz. It was just the buzz after that.
The needing to know more. Like, I need more. Yeah.
I wanted to know who it was, why you did it, why did you want my attention and nobody else's. So, a few years down the line after going on so many companies, shall we say, their events, I won't say they were investigations, I say events, we decided just basically let's do it on our own. We'll go and investigate places ourselves. And then once a month, what we will do is we'll run a public event where people could join us and try and help us get evidence. And also we use them as bait because they're newbies.
Of course.
So the fear factor's there. That's it, the new energy,
yeah. It's always quite interesting because I know, like I say, on the podcast round about, like I say, the Halloween or the spooky season, we do generally have, like I say, a ghost talk, and we do get different members on to tell the stories and stuff. It's always interesting, like hearing a lot of people's different opinions or a lot of people's experiences in this type of thing. But with you, like just going into it that way, like it's quite interesting to me because I know, like my kind of upbringing, I've told it loads of times. Like, say, I lived in a really spooky area in the northeast, where like one side of us was a graveyard, the other side of us was an old mental asylum. So, like that aspect always there. And then I think the boom time of the 90s for paranormal activity, when like say shows like Most Haunted and everything like that came out, and everyone kind of got fascinated by it in a way, to a degree, shall we say.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But obviously, as you know, down the line, these programs have become known as
Yeah. I mean, I was just talking about it with my husband earlier. They used to do stuff on bank holidays. They were like an event in my house. Like we used to like plan our whole weekend around it, and you were really suckered into it. But I do want to believe. I am not a skeptic by any sense. Death fascinates me incredibly, and I don't. What gets us is when you're watching stuff like them, you've got to remember the entertainment factor of it.
Yeah,
like, and it's like where's the line? Like I don't know where the line is anymore.
Yeah,
and it gets a little bit disheartening, really.
I totally agree with that. But like as we say on investigations, my main saying is the spirits are not performing monkeys.
No.
Yeah,
I
think I started shouting that last night when we were watching one. They're not going to perform for you.
Yeah, well, it's like if I came into your house or whatever, and I said, "If there's anybody here, make me a bang. Can you make a knock? Can you throw something?" How many times are you going to get fed up if there's different people coming in asking the same things?
Yeah. I get that.
That's how I see it. That is how I see it. But like you said, people do tend to push the boundary a bit far for entertainment.
Yeah.
So
especially
it's interesting though, isn't it? Because like they're kind of like I'm assuming they're probably like set back sort of paranormal stuff in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
because they basically proved all of the naysayers right after like years and years of sort of denying it, and it's like, well, that's not great for everyone who's interested in this kind of thing as a hobby or potential sort of career and stuff. So yeah, it's and it's unfortunate they're the most famous one in the UK by far. But hopefully it's sort of settling down now, and like, you know, groups like yours can sort of fill some of that gap and actually be like, okay, we're doing it, but we're being like sincere about it, and we're telling you everything up front and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it. Like I say, we've never faked anything. We never will.
Yeah.
And I'll always say, if you do follow us or anyone follows us on Facebook, we will post evidence that we do capture on investigations there. We don't do YouTube or TikToks.
I learned that today.
We basically don't want to be tarnished with the fakery side of things, because
I totally get that.
There's so many people, teams out there who are just making other teams who actually want to investigate and find evidence. So, you know, they're just making a mockery of it. That's my belief.
I totally get you.
You see it quite often where people will sort of try and manufacture things. I think it happens, like, obviously ghost stuff you can manufacture sort of kind of easily with, you know, actual like physical props and stuff. But I also you see quite a lot of like cryptid stuff where they'll be like filming. It's always a blurry shot in modern times, which is always questionable, but they'll be like filming a hillside, and like they can digitally put something running across it these days, and if you make it blurry enough, you know, you've got plausible deniability, and they just want the views. Like,
totally agree.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And we were on an investigation last night, and I think I got home at about 10 o'clock this morning.
It's crazy.
I was actually talking to a guy on there who was investigating with us, and like he said, why do these people put cuts in the videos and things like that?
Yeah.
I understand you might be recording for 8 hours. You don't want an 8-hour thing.
Yeah.
But why don't you keep one version of raw footage, then do a edited one as well?
Yeah.
But then you've got the evidence of both. No, we haven't put this in there. Here's the raw footage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
so we was kind of talking about stuff like that, but it doesn't mean I am going on YouTube or TikTok. Just to let you know.
I know. I went looking for you.
It was just a conversation.
No, it's fine.
I went looking for you on YouTube today, and I was disappointed. I was like, no, not there.
No. We did start a channel, but then I think it was a bit too late. There was too many teams out there faking, and
yeah.
It like, I don't know how much you know about the paranormal side of things, guys, but it is quite a toxic place.
Oh no, I generally didn't.
I can I haven't dug into like this fandom exactly, but when you look on like paranormal Reddits and stuff, it is interesting how some people will like paint themselves as like an expert of things that nobody can actually prove exist yet, but people will just barefaced like lay things out, like, you know, like be like, you have a demon. It's like, oh, okay. Like, and they won't like elaborate, or they'll just be like, that's definitely a demon possession. You're like, that's a dangerous thing to say to someone without actually backing things up.
It is, and to be fair, that's how the paranormal field's going. Everything you see now is demonic this, demonic that. But luckily for me, which I will explain a little bit later on, I have been on a demonology night,
right?
Nice.
with a professor of demonology, and he explains quite a lot to you.
All right,
I mean, I'm
interesting.
going to leave it at that.
Okay, that's it. But I do like the way that you've been like phrasing like what you do as an investigation rather than as you said as an event or as a entertainment side of things. Because probably you do have these nights, as you said quite clearly. The spirits or like the energy that's there, they're not performing monkeys. They're not there for people's entertainment or like say like it's not like a circus. So you probably do have investigations where nothing will happen. So you'll probably just have about 8 hours, 10 hours for footage, and nothing happens one night. And that's down to like as you said, sometimes it can be luck of the draw, but again, it's then if the things do happen, you've got to then go through the plausible like why did this happen? Like, what could it have been, or and stuff like that, and trying to take them type of elements out. So that must be like the kind of like the detective side for you as well.
Yeah. Even like say, even if you're doing 8 hours of trying to record evidence, capture something, we have a laugh anyway.
Yeah.
It's gotta be great. It's gotta be great fun.
But you've got to think as well, these buildings that we go to. The parts that we get to go in, the public are not allowed to go if they're doing a tour.
Yeah.
So we get to see these old Victorian buildings and all this. And we get to see things that the public don't even get to see. So why not enjoy the beauty of these buildings as well?
And enjoy the freedom of that as well, because as you said, not many people will be getting that access or that availability as well. So it's kind of like almost like a privilege in a way.
Massively. All that history around you, like, oh, it must be fantastic. I'm so jealous.
Do you find that yours and like your investigation partners' attitudes do matter? Like, have you had any nights where you have noticed like, oh, we were all positive going in, and then we had like positive experiences coming out, or like nights where you felt off and then the sort of investigation's gone off? Like, have you felt anything like reflecting like that before?
Yeah, I definitely think your own energy, team energy does help. The more energy you're going to give out, hopefully the more you get back. Basically, like they're saying, give and what you receive and things like that. But what we tend to notice is people's mannerisms do change during investigations.
Right.
So depending, I always get told whenever we're at 30 East Drive, my mannerisms change. I get a bit snappy, things like that. That's where we were last night, 30 East Drive, probably the most famous house in Europe. If not the world.
That's it's always an interesting as well, because like so I was telling Sammy and like Jake about 30 East Drive yesterday, and we, as I said, we watched a video together, like just to like because you go on YouTube, you do your searches and stuff like that. When you look at it, it just looks, because I think the biggest comment we give to it is it just looks like a normal northeast run-of-the-mill council attack. So it's not like the normal haunted abode that you would like say. So if you come to the northeast, there's like Marsden Grotto, that looks like a haunted pub when you go in. If you go into like say a castle, like everything there just screams that something spooky is going to happen. But when you see the images, like fair enough, the decor is terrifying in 30 East Drive. It looks like something that was born out that was still made in the 70s, and they've been terrified to redecorate since. But but other than that, it is quite unassuming, if that makes sense.
It takes you by surprise. You will go into the house and it's just like going to your grand's.
It looks like my grandmother's house, and she's been dead for 28 years. The settee and the carpets and everything screams my grandmother.
Yeah, they've basically just kept it the same. The energy in there, though, it does shift. You do feel like a dark presence sometimes in there.
Right.
But other times it's just like, say, going round to your nan's for your tea or a sleepover, or that's all it is.
Because I know you've investigated or done like quite a lot of things about 30 East Drive. So what is it that's about that building, or why is that one like say draws more than others? Shall we say?
I think it's just a famous house.
Right.
You know, it's had a film made about it. It was all over the news about the Pritchard family and things like that. But it's on everyone's bucket list.
Right.
Yeah, it's not something that's crossed my. It's not like the Enfield house where that was like, you know, that
no.
like totally like blew up. This is kind of like just dropped in my lap in the last couple of years. What is the history behind the house?
Basically, they call it the Black Monk of Pontefract.
Right.
So this Black Monk of Pontefract did haunt the house, and it did. The most famous thing about it is it dragged the child, the girl, Diane, up the stairs by her hair. If you ever want more history on it, there is a film out what they made.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it.
I've not seen it, but I saw it today. I saw the trailer for it today.
Yeah, when the lights went out.
Oh yeah.
So if you do get a chance to watch that, that is based on this house. So basically, then it locked the father, Joe, into the coal shed. The coal shed is still in there.
Yeah. See, we're from the northeast, so we know what the coal. I think anyone, any Americans or coal sheds are not a fun place to be locked in. Trust us.
They're not.
Especially if there's no lock on the door as well.
No, jeez.
Oh, so it was like being held shut, almost one of those situations.
Yeah. But then you got the American famous investigators as well.
Oh God!
Right.
So you got like Nick Groff, if you've heard of Nick Groff. He came over.
Very much heard of Nick Groff.
He did an investigation there.
Right.
It's been a culture shock for him, I imagine.
Massively. That's the guy who left Zach, isn't it? He was with Zach. He was with Ghost Adventures for a long time, and then he left and started off on his own. That's him, isn't it?
That is.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't want to go into too much detail.
No, I don't want to go into too much of Zach either.
Yeah,
I want to keep this friendly.
I don't want any phone calls.
It's fine. We've not really had too much abuse yet, so it's fine.
But yeah, everyone all over the world wants to investigate this building. I think we've done it now about 12 times.
Right.
Wow.
So we've kind of built up like a bit of a report portfolio for this building. And then like I said, we've got one more to go, and that's in June.
Yeah, I think people can book to go to that one. I think there's 2 spaces left, apparently. I think just hitting anyone who's watching.
It did just sell out the other day.
Oh, right.
Well, congrats on the sellout, though.
Yeah, so we don't just do 30 East Drive. We do other party places, and also now, well, you guys were at the HorrorCon where we were. We are in partnership with the Haunted Museum in Stoke-on-Trent.
Yes.
We did see that, yes.
Is there anything like you've added to the museum, like from your own personal collection?
Well, you saw her, you met her on the table.
Yeah.
She has been added to the museum now. The haunted doll we had.
Right.
She can stay there.
That's the one thing
The one thing I'm terrified of is dolls.
Yeah, so she started getting a bit too naughty when we had her at the house.
Right.
I've just gone really cold.
She started mimicking our children.
Oh,
right. That you hear that sort of thrown around a bit as a sign of like evil, don't you?
Yeah, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's
like the only communication that can happen.
Not playful.
No, I'm trying to make myself feel better. That's what I'm trying to do.
Don't worry, Dolly Dearest isn't coming to get you, Sam. It's fine.
Do dolls.
So yeah, she's now in the museum under 24-hour surveillance.
Right.
And
nice.
I think within 24 hours she moved inside that case. I'm led to believe.
Right.
What is the doll? Like, who is behind the doll?
We've had 3 names come through.
Right.
So there could be 3 different things attached to her or bound to her.
What is
Oh.
it with, and I'm not trying to be funny here, but what is it with the likes of dolls? Because obviously there's the Annabelle doll, there's Robert the doll,
Robert the doll, yeah,
Robert.
yeah.
Oh, he
I
can get in
hate
the bin
Robert.
and all.
I like. I don't mean I hate him.
No,
He's coming to
no.
get you, Jake.
No, no.
He's awful though.
No,
Just don't take a
Um,
picture of him.
He looks terrifying.
you've got to ask permission. You write
Yes, you
your
do.
permission down and ask for permission.
Yep.
There's no way I'd get anywhere near it, so
I'm gonna
it's
leave
fine.
him be. I think.
Yeah, I think I'm good. But what is it with the likes of like dolls, like that
Isn't
they
it-
attach to?
Isn't it just the form? So it's like the closest form of humans or like
Human
people that
effigy.
they're like type.
Yeah, so they can call them the closest vessel
Right.
to a human.
Right.
So it's classed as a vessel.
Hmm.
But more and more dolls are now haunted, things like that.
Right.
So yeah, like I say, we've now took her there. She's out of the house, and to be fair, it feels a lot better in the house now.
Oh well, that's positive.
So,
Good riddance.
I like how we all just walked past her at the convention as well, without
Did
knowing
we?
anything.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, she was there.
Yeah, in a glass
Oh, it's a
case.
good job. It's a good job we didn't mention it. While I picked up on it. I'd be
If-
terrified.
if
Sammy
you-
would have just stopped dead and like stared into our eyes. Like,
If you would have asked, I would have got her out and let you hold
No,
her.
no, no.
Oh, bless
He
him.
got us to hold a proper hand while we were there, and I freaked out. So no, and I just go into hysterics. Like my go-to as soon as I'm scared is I just laugh.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
uncontrollably laughing, and that wouldn't have been the
That would
first
be
great
scary.
impression.
just Sammy going all proper crazy.
maniacal laughter with the
Yeah,
doll.
just.
I know you
I'm doing
mentioned.
it now.
I know you mentioned your first experience was someone pulling on your jumper. So, has there been any other like experiences you would like to tell us, just to scare Sammy a little bit more?
Uh, well, there's loads of things. Oh, yeah, if you want to know a really good one,
Mm.
the other week when I took the haunted doll into the haunted museum,
Right.
I walked through the room to go into the office, and the loudest blood curdling scream
Right.
was actually at me, and there was only me in that building at that time, and it was caught on 4 different cameras inside the museum.
Wow.
I would have been
But then
placing
you
that
had
doll on the
nobody-
floor and be like, "Your problem now."
But I just froze. I had to double take. Thought, did someone just shout me?
Yeah. Well, that's the
So-
thing. You had no one to ask, did you? Because it's like one of those moments, isn't it, where you're like, "Oh, was that just me?"
Yeah,
You have to wait till the footage.
because you do that thing. It plays with your mind because the mind can play tricks to a degree. That was what I was going to ask as well. Like, what is like, say, sometimes your reactions as well? Because the things that you see, like the entertainment side, if it happened to you in real life, I'm sorry, I would be getting the fuck out the room. Like, not even not even just trying to contemplate or work out what's happened. Like, and I hate to keep talking about it. When you see the Most Haunted team go to 30 East Drive and there's a fucking knife sticking up in the couch, I would be playing.
Where did that come from?
Again, it's what it says. If I saw anything like that, I'm not playing anymore. It's just like, no, that's
Ta-ta.
Why? Why not find out why it's like that, or who's put it there?
Oh, because there's some things that are all right just being left with a knife in the couch.
Have you because obviously like a bunch of us have seen quite a lot of ghost shows, and that is kind of like a common thing that happens, like an object seemingly showing up from nowhere. Or like, have you seen much of that, or like things moving into rooms where you are and being like, that was in the kitchen before type of, like, have you seen much of that?
You do get quite a lot of it, but it depends really on where you are, I'd say, and the energy. I've had things thrown. A Bluetooth speaker, probably the largest thing I've had thrown.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
tempted to throw it back.
No, because it was aimed at a woman who was with us.
Oh shit! No, then.
And I've never seen anyone run so quick.
Yeah.
I'm
But
not
like,
surprised.
it's one thing I say, like you said, if it was you, Paul, if it was you, you'd get up and run.
Yeah.
But for us as paranormal investigators, we're there to find that.
Yeah, that's it. That's
So-
that's your thing. Like that, you need to know where that came from.
That's it. And it's like sometimes you see teams and they hear a knock or a big bang or something drop. Right, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on, you've it's only been 10 minutes. You know,
like this is what you want. This is your bread and
Oh
butter. You
no, like I
wanted
said, I
this.
can understand that aspect because that's what you're there for. That's why I always like roll my eyes when people say, "Oh, if you're here with us, make a bang." Then they shit themselves when they hear a bang. It's like you've just asked them to do something. So thing. But for my like, say, if I was like, as I said, just going in like a normal civilian, going through a house and start seeing knives kicking or things thrown at us, I wouldn't want to play in them type of like scenarios, if that makes sense. It'd be like, but
yeah, you're like, I'm getting the message loud and clear.
I was like, I'm not wanted, but that's always like not the funny side of things, but like when you see people's reactions where they're surprised when they're asking for something to happen and it happens, it's like, oh shit! It's like you go to like the Edinburgh Vaults for thing, and it is one of the most creepiest places I've ever been. St Mary's, isn't it? I can't remember the name, but and you it's like if they see anything or feel anything, they kind of react or freak out. It's like, why did you go down there and not like want something to happen?
That's it. And also you got to think about how much money people pay to do these tours or investigations or events. You know, it's just mind-boggling. Say, I know places charge, say, £80 a person, and within 2 hours something happens and they're like, right, I'm going, I need to go, I don't like it here. You know, I understand people get feelings and emotions of sickness and things like that, but just step out of the room, step away from that energy and build your own energy back up. You know, have a break, have a drink, you know. But there is ways around it that you can, that you don't have to just run off 20 miles down the road.
I know I am a big fraidy cat, and I do, and laughing is my like defense mechanism. That's what I do when I'm scared. But I never leave a situation. Like I will stick it out and stay there regardless of how I am feeling. And it's one thing that my mother said to us but growing up, when after I lost a friend really young, and death has fascinated me for a very long time. And the idea of, oh my God, she could potentially be on the other side. What would she do to us? And my mum would always say to us, she would never hurt you in life. Why would she hurt you in death? And it kind of like, it stuck with us. So that's how me brain processes. Like I wouldn't, yes, I laugh me arse off because it's the one thing that stops us from being uncontrollably. Absolutely. But I would never not walk away. I would stay there.
Yeah,
and I have done many times in situations like that. I would just think it's hilarious because why not?
Sammy is the goth in the group as well, so that's fine. But
I mean, what give it away?
But it's interesting as well because I know like a lot of people talk about energies and stuff as well. And when you were mentioning about like having a demonologist and stuff like that, is there a different, like, again, talking to me as a novice and not really experiencing it as well, is there different kinds of energies? Is like is the ones where you feel like is like bad, dark, is like, again, I know like one of the things you talked about during the panel, which I do want to like talk a little bit more, was like the divot boxes as well, like say the which people sell on fucking eBay and stuff like that, which is just crazy. They do.
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, but that's supposed to kill you, right? If you open it, or it's supposed to be like that dangerous. I don't.
If it's legit, yeah. I wouldn't say kill you. I'd say torment you.
Okay.
What is a divot box?
A divot box is basically a Jewish demon caught inside, and they seal it with wax.
Right.
And basically, it's a demon. So nowadays, it's going to kill you, and you know, it'll just kill you straight away. But normally, demons do tend to torment, harm you first, and mentally, not just physically, mentally. So but like you said,
sounds
they're
Not something you should mess with or buy off eBay. Is what we're saying.
Who
Yeah.
the fuck's buying them off eBay?
it. I could make you one now if you wanted. Just get me a little chest, and I'd put some wax on it, and I'd say it's a divot box and sell it for £500.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh,
you don't know if they're legit. You
No.
don't know if they're legit. So me
Yeah.
personally, I always get if you're looking at buying anything like that.
Yeah.
So people do,
Mhm.
you know, always make sure you get documentation on the actual piece.
I think I saw like
that's a whole thing.
like not documentary, but there was one where there was a person selling them. But can you remember the smoke they were using in like the old Ghostbuster cans that you got, like from like Burger King or something like that? They were filling them with the same type of smoke, so it's when you open them, like a little puff of smoke was coming out. So it's kind of giving that kind of
Crafty
like
bastards.
kind of
Genius.
But it's one of those things. There's so many different laws and stuff like that. But
That one feels especially sort of weird to me because it's like taking a part of another culture and being like, this is like the most dangerous thing you can buy, and it's like it rubs me all the wrong ways.
I've seen something. I've physically been next to something worse than a divot box.
Oh,
what is worse than a demon divot box?
Something that is at the Haunted Museum in Stoke.
Right.
It's called a Devil's Toy Box.
All right.
Never heard of that.
Well, that sounds like a bunch of fun.
Yeah, it's weird.
Right.
Put it that way.
What is it?
I can't. I'm not going to go too much into it.
Oh, my Google search tonight's gonna be terrible.
But yeah, I have done investigation with Craig, who obviously owns Craig and Gemma, who own the Haunted Museum. I don't. You guys must have met him when
we did.
Museum of Horrors.
Yeah, we were talking to them.
Yeah. We did Demonology Night, and you actually get to work with that box out of its enclosed case because it's a box inside an enclosed case. They take out the enclosed case, and you actually get to do a bit of an investigation with it.
So it must have some like weird. I know, like talking about auras and feelings and stuff, like because there's things where you're like near, or like even buildings and stuff where you go near. They've just got like a presence where you feel like nothing good can come from that, though. That must...
you get that feeling, yeah. Well, basically, all you're feeling is static electricity in the air. You know, if you walk near an electric pylon, your hairs will stand up on your arms. If you walk right next to them, it's basically just static electricity in the air, and that's basically how you feel with your energies and things like that. But that does kind of give off a weird vibe, that box.
Wow.
Interesting. I think we are going to have a road trip there as well soon. I think.
No, you say that, and then
Sammy will be like chattering teeth, like Scooby-Doo characters the whole time,
just cradling each other. Jake, I've got you.
And also, because it's quite far distance and it's Stoke for you guys.
I think it's about 2.5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can actually sleep over in the heart.
You're all right. I don't mind driving back.
How convenient.
I tell you what though, we have got a dumbass in the group called Lee.
He would
you
do
met
it.
Lee. You did meet Lee.
Yeah, I met Lee. Yeah,
he was the big lad.
It must be the name. It must be the name.
Yeah, you met Lee.
He is the most lovable, gullible human in the world. But if you said, Lee, go and do this, like even jokingly, he would go and do it. Like one episode when Lee painted himself green with doing the turtles. So he painted himself green and filled himself just screaming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was like, why are you doing this, Lee? Please stop it.
But we do love Lee. Just want to reiterate that massively.
He can be our little like guinea pig, like an experiment person. So
him and Chris is like in the chat, just well up for like all of this. So like, let's just send Lee and Chris.
I like how we're basically lining up to sacrifice the people with children as well. Rather than,
like, the ones who don't.
Rather than us and stuff. Yeah, who would?
So you're volunteering other people instead of yourselves.
Oh, of course, I'm a massive coward. It's fine.
That's how demonic of you, Paul.
Yes. It's fine.
One of our big massive haunts is Chillingham Castle.
Yep.
Have you been?
Nope, not yet.
Oh,
That's all I'm saying. Not yet.
not
I think we were
yet.
talking about so
Not yet.
not
Well,
yet.
I've felt the uneasy. You know, when you're in the house and you kind of like feel a bit uneasy, and it's
Yeah.
just it is your mind just playing tricks on you. I've done it to myself plenty of times. When I walked into Chillingham and I know it was the torture chamber bit at the bottom of the courtyard that have all of the torture chamber stuff out. They have the Iron Maiden out and the stretch and stuff. I have never felt uneasy, to the point of feeling sick to my stomach. And it wasn't the material that was in front of us. That didn't even cross my mind. It was the environment. I have never felt like that before. And I was like,
Right.
I don't want to be here anymore. I do not want to be here anymore. And then I started learning a bit about the history of it. And there's a place out the back where it's got just this huge, massive like pond type of thing with a jetty. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Going out of it. And this person just come past us and went, "Do you know the history of this?" And I was like, "Oh no, I haven't got a clue." And he went, "Well, this is the closest castle from that is on the border. So you would have Scotland, then there's Chillingham, then Northumberland. So Chillingham would always be the first to be attacked by the Scots. This is where they set up all of their little traps for when the Scots came running past, trapped them, drowned them, and they've just been stuck there for hundreds and hundreds of years."
Yep.
I have never felt so ill in my entire life. I just stood there. I think I just went like, I am pale to start with. I think I went like fluorescent, like
went translucent.
Yeah, like pretty much translucent. Like I couldn't see us. I was like, I really don't want to be here anymore.
It always interests us as well because I think with England as the country itself, we have abundance of history, abundance of
huge
tragedies, abundance of things where, like, if shit's going to go wrong, it normally does happen in the UK. But when you go to like places like in America where they don't have as much history or as much a thing, they are so obsessed with the paranormal. Like literally everything that's like from like this cardboard house that was put up 2 weeks ago is now haunted to a degree. Like I say, you can tell I've just watched the name person. I'm not thinking. I was like,
Did you watch Demon House by any chance?
Don't. But I don't understand how, like, say, because in my head, like when it comes to spirits and stuff, it is like say a build up of energy, a build up of not just like 10 years, 15 years, like thousands of years of like tragedies, thousands of years of like energy building up, happening in the one place. America doesn't have that kind of like. So the background, why are they so obsessed? Is it because of the mentality of Americans, shall we say? Not to say all Americans are nuts, but like I say, to be fair, we've got thousands of Americans in the group. You're all weird, but still.
But we love you.
To be fair, we've got the history. The UK has got the history. Okay, so like you saying, the history is massive. The energies do store into stone, wood, etc., into these buildings. That's why we get the hauntings. But the thing with America, how you got to see it, is Native American land. Native Americans kind of curse the land, shall we say, or put some sort of spell on the lands. And so when these houses are getting built, they are actually on Native American land. So this is why you could be getting hauntings.
Right.
So this is why you could possibly be getting quite a lot. But as you know, some buildings with films made after them.
Yes.
Conjuring. And,
that's an interesting one. I have watched some very interesting. I am not a huge fan of Ed and Lorraine Warren. It's been sorry.
Right, Paul, I'll talk to you and Jake now.
I have my issues with them.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah. But the Perrin family, listening to them, now that was interesting.
Yeah.
There's something quite genuine about them.
Yep.
And I thoroughly, I'd rather listen to them than Ed and Lorraine. I'm really sorry.
But
I'll just recoil back on my seat now.
Well, you can talk to Ed and Lorraine whenever you want if you get a spirit board or a Ouija board. Or...
I mean, I own plenty, so it's not out of the realms of possibility.
Oh, so you're not scared of Ouija boards?
No.
Absolutely not. No, I own quite a few.
Oh, no.
My mum won't come in the is very skeptical. Go come in my living room because of how many I have in there.
Yeah, I was just going off on a tangent then. You
No,
know,
it's
for
fine.
the amount of people who are scared of them.
Yeah.
I had one as my centerpiece for my wedding.
Right. Awesome. Awesome.
And
That's
my
all I
husband
could
got us
say.
my husband got us a beautiful one for Christmas, wooden one, with the planchette on. It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I'm not scared of Ouija boards.
Yeah. No, it's just a thing that people always ask me.
Oh, really?
When I'm out and about, you know, or doing an investigation, it's, you're not scared of Ouija boards. You're not scared of demons coming through. You're not scared of it being thrown at you. I'm like,
Zozo coming through.
Yeah, that's the one. Zozo, Mama, you know, there's loads.
I think that I don't know if that was definitely a thing when I was a kid. I remember that being like, you know, the urban legend in the 90s and stuff.
Yeah.
But to me, it just never made a lot of sense. It's like, yes, be scared of like, you know, the spirit, but it's not the board, if that makes sense.
It's
because there's like there's thousands of them. Like they can't all be cursed.
Do you know how it originated?
Yeah,
it was like a
toy. It was a kid's
toy.
It was a kid's toy.
It was Mattel, wasn't it? Mattel? No, Mattel.
Mattel, yeah.
Mattel brought it out, right?
So yeah, kids, do you want to speak to your great grandma? You know,
crack on.
It's one of those things where I think it is people trying to force like ancient sort of beliefs into like modern objects. Yeah, and some of that doesn't always line up for me. Yeah,
I grew up on Witchboard, the movie, which to us in the UK it was called Ouija, and I was obsessed with that film. I wanted to talk to David so badly, even though David was a demon. I still wanted to talk to him. The amount of Ouija boards we created on the back of that film.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't that during
Sammy? You're fine.
That's probably been due, like that's probably down like the 80s, where like anything to do with like anything paranormal, like the Satanic Panic area, like say like it was kind of like coming into the same thing where people were saying, "Oh, paranormal's bad. It's going to turn us all into devil worshippers and make us all like go into paganism and stuff like that." But that's like say the negative connotations that do come with like this side of things, where when again I think at my school when I was at Roker Dame Dot, they actually got a priest in to have a conversation with us because people were like doing Ouija boards and stuff like that. And the priest did to get a priest to come in.
Call the priest, call the vicar.
Because
it was haunted.
Was this at school?
At school, it was one of them times.
Was it a Catholic?
No,
priest?
It wasn't. It was just a standard one. Yeah, it was a product like the Church of England, I think it was called at the time.
Right, CV, yeah.
But we had a old Scottish head mistress who was very much like sing your hymns and stuff like that. But they got a priest to come in, and he just basically said, he went, "Look, it's just a board. It'll only do damage to you if you're mental. It'll let it do damage to you and stuff." And he was quite straightforward to it as well. So he wasn't like all like fire and brimstone saying, "Oh, you're casting the devil." But I think being from the northeast, they weren't going to bullshit us too much with that type of type of stuff. But
I was thinking that when you were chatting before about stuff like that, and I'm just thinking like, my parents are like really skeptical, and it's so like I never saw them afraid of certain things like that. So then it didn't like pass it into me like to be like, oh, you need to take Ouija boards seriously because like your mom's scared of them or something. So I wonder if some of that helps. Like that probably did help you kids in school, like an actual authority figure coming in and being like, "Look, yous are okay. You're gonna be like, you don't need to panic about this stuff."
It was normally just like saying, "See that little dodgy little kid in the corner? He's the one that's pushing the cup. Give him a slap next time he does it."
My mom's very much afraid of the unknown. It's not like she's skeptical or anything. She doesn't like the fact of like messing with. She always says with me Ouija boards, you're messing with stuff you don't understand. And I'm like, you do realize I'm not physically touching them. Like, they are display pieces.
Yeah, but there's two ways you can look at it as well. Like, say, people can be scared of it, but it does give comfort for a lot of people as well to know that there's something that could be there or something can be there. So that's why I would never take the piss out of this type of subject, even though, as I said, I am a skeptic. I've never experienced anything. I'm one of those ones that want to. But I think it's wrong to just point out and to start laughing at someone because, like I say, because it, as I said, it could be the difference from someone feeling good on a night time, like, or help them getting through that day. So that's why, like I say, I've always like a stern believer of, like, say, one of those things where I want to believe, but until, like, say, it actually happens to us, I might come to the horror, like, say, the haunted museum and change everything. Like, the whole belief system will get thrown out the window.
Well, you never know. Like,
is that kind of how it felt? Is that kind of how it felt for you, Lee? Like, when you were saying your jumper got tugged, and you were saying that was like your first proper like paranormal thing.
Yeah.
Is that kind of how it felt? Like, oh, now my worldview needs like reassessing type of thing.
No, basically, I'm still the same. I don't fully believe. I will try and debunk as much as I can before I turn around and say that is unexplained. And even if it's unexplained, I will get other teams who I know. I will say, look at this. What do you make of this? How could this have happened? Then it'll take me a long, long time until I say it's paranormal.
That's a healthy way of looking at it as well, because if you jump on everything and try and, like, force it down someone saying, look, this is it, and again you can have, like, say, the almost opposite effect. But it's almost like a healthy approach as well. One thing I did want to ask about as well, because I know you mentioned other teams. What did surprise us when I think we all said at the same time when we went to the HorrorCon in Manchester, in Hertfordshire, how many paranormal teams were actually in the Northwest? Like, we've got absolutely, well, not that I know of, not that many in the Northeast or anything like that. But it was like, I
was like, is this the mecca for paranormal teams? Is the Northwest? There was so many of yous.
There's loads, you know. But then again, I know loads from the Northeast.
So we might just not be looking in the right areas then as well. So
yeah, I was actually investigating one of them last night.
Oh, cool.
Resident Ghost Investigations.
Right, I'll have to look into that. But yeah, but we were just we were chuckling away as well, thinking that is, like, say, because I know Manchester has a rich history of, like, a lot of, like, the ghosts and stuff like that, and especially being next to the Pendle, which is like one of the famous ones. That is one of the ones I've always said I wanted to visit just to see what an experience.
That is on our list. We've said it for a few years now. That's where we want to go.
Do it in summer.
I was going to see though.
I don't particularly want to be here cold.
Which is the heebie-jeebies though. Like you know how, like, how Paul was saying, like, oh yeah, I would never, like, make fun of anyone for, like, believing and stuff. Like, that's very much me. Like, I'm not sure what I believe, but I will be respectful to the things I don't understand. Like, I don't want to mess with anything. Like, I'm not like trying to shake the tree to see what falls out. If that makes sense.
But that's the thing. There's witches pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, mediums, psychic mediums, they're classed as witches.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, I'll say it anyway.
I'm within the witchy community.
Okay. No, it's nothing bad.
Oh no, and I would.
No,
honestly,
we have asked to do investigations with a company called Phasm Tours. Don't know if you've heard of them.
No.
Okay, it's Patty Negri from Ghost Adventures.
All right.
I know the name.
Yeah, she's the medium with Zach and everyone.
Yes.
Blonde hair.
Yes.
And our good friend who's also a witch or a medium, Liz Carmel. Them two have teamed up and they are doing a tour this year.
All right.
Just to let you know, and they have asked us to be the investigators on that.
Oh, exciting! That's like
Oh.
quite
This is
cool.
like a whole new world for me. Like my witchy community is more spirituality than anything else. And obviously I love tarot, I love stuff like that. But yeah, this is like a whole new world for me.
Yeah, well, basically, it's about witches, this tour.
Right.
And they are going around Wales, through England, doing all these stops at places where there's been claimed to be witchcraft done.
That is so fascinating because if you literally go and try and do any research on the rich history of witchcraft within the UK, it's very few and far between. Fucking get into Salem though, like it's it's just like so much. But we were first. Like our trials, like everything came from us first, and it's very hard to find that information. So two is like that. It sounds fantastic.
Was it not just basically hiding the blights on England's history? Said the dawn.
The thing is, it's loads. It's absolute because we do a lot of work with Liz Carmel as she does mediums for us and comes investigates with us. Her knowledge of where everything is for the witchcraft side of things is unreal.
Wow.
Absolutely unreal. So her and Patty have teamed up and they are doing a tour this year in September. That's one for you, Sammy.
It sounds brilliant. Honestly, I go on a deep dive sometimes and try and get to know more about the, move away from Salem. So much I already know about that. I can't fill my head with any more. What about the UK? And it's like, you get little tidbits, but not a great massive deal. I'll try and find books on it. Not a great deal out there, not a great deal of literature. And I know the history is there because I've heard people talking about it.
Yeah, it is there. And like I say, it opened my eyes once we started working with these mediums of where things are.
Just to ask about the medium side, because I would kick myself if I didn't ask about it, because I know, like, with what's happened, like, say, in the last few years, well, not few years, like, in the past, like, say, the medium, the name medium did get a little bit of a dirty name for a long time due to experiences on certain people, like, doing things. Like, are they starting to, like, come back now a little bit more? They're getting taken up because it must have made their lives absolute hell, like, once all these things was coming out type thing.
Yeah, I can imagine it did. I can imagine it made their life hell. But also, you could go down the route of recently. How do I say this? Recently, people we've met on investigations and things like that, or just out and about, everybody seems to be a medium at the minute.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
So that's the.
So everyone's channeling into the universe.
Yeah. But as if you ever ask my team when I'm not there, they'll probably say Lee only believes in certain mediums.
Right.
You know, basically people he trusts.
Well, yeah, I suppose you can get a vibe of someone even before knowing, you know, if they have any sort of extra skills in that area.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, is it a case with, because you've said you're like quite skeptical, is it a case where, because I think when we were talking to you at the Hayward Con, you were saying that you try not to research as much, like you try and do as less as possible. Like, obviously you'll definitely hear things, and we've already spoiled some Chillingham Castle stuff. But no, like, is that how you approach the medium stuff as well? Are you like, okay, so I need to sort of ask some stuff, or like that they would have no idea of, or do you try and set it up in a way where you're like, where you check it later and be like, well, that confirms something, so like, how could they know sort of this kind of combination of events and stuff?
Yeah, well, for me, I don't do any research.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, I'm just lazy.
Sounds like me doing most of the podcasts we do. That's fine.
I'm sure it helps for this kind of thing though, because I'm sure you've seen it where, like, things in the moment will transfer from people just because they've said something. Now everyone's like, okay, now I'm listening for knocks because someone just said they heard a knock.
Mhm.
It's hard, like it's hard to keep yourself like pure in that sense. Like, and if you know, oh, there's a dark monk in this building, you're gonna sort of be thinking about it and looking for it.
I totally agree. That's why I don't do research, because you will get names told through history. And what I noticed on investigations with anybody who does research is they'll only ask for them names.
Right.
They'll only ask for that spirit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on, there could be another 80, 90 spirits here, and you're only asking for this one. I understand it because of the history, but how we do it is we do normally have 2 team members who do. I think it's because they just like the research and history of the places we go. So we do have people who know the history in case it does come up. But it's not me, I'll be honest with you.
It's got to be hard. It's got to be hard now with the internet being the way like how it's completely accessible and has everything available to someone.
That's it. Like I say, I just look for haunted locations. Then if it says something like, "Oh, this ghost has been seen here," or "this spirit," or I'll just say, "Right, it's haunted. Let's try and look at booking it." I won't read any further on. Then we just basically use our paranormal investigation side of it then to work out if it is haunted. Obviously, you can't do it just off one investigation.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, they're not performing monkeys. It might just be an off night.
Yeah.
So I know, because we've talked about, like, say, the 30 East Drive, like, other than, like, because that one is, like, one, as you said, one of the most haunted houses in not just the UK, but in the world at times. Has there been any other investigations that you've, I know, I'm trying to use my word carefully, because I don't think joy is the right word, but, like, you've kind of gotten the most from that isn't, like, say, the 30 East Drive.
So, my favourite one. So, now you're asking.
See, he does enjoy it though.
I do. How can you not enjoy being in there?
I know it's just one of them things because people because I know people can be quite delicate with type things. I'm just trying not to say something out too hard.
There's one in Liverpool,
right?
Newsham Park. That was good. It's huge. It was an old orphanage,
right?
And an asylum as well.
Classic.
It's massive. Yeah. For haunted wise, where we've had most activity, I'm gonna say Haunted Museum in Stoke. Not just come in partnership, but
yeah.
Is it just
it come in handy though?
Is it like just because of the concentration of items? Do you think?
well, there's 450 documented artifacts in there.
Right.
You're really selling it here, Lee, for us to go down.
I don't need to do that. All you've got to do is just follow Craig and Gemma with the Haunted Museum on Facebook. But like I said to you before we started this live, they did ring me yesterday about 9:30, 10:15 in the morning, and there was something caught on the CCTV footage.
Right.
And it is a dark. I'll let you watch the video. It's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I checked it out yesterday. Yesterday, the day before.
Yeah, it's basically a new room that we've opened up.
I have actually my anxiety bubble from this episode.
So, because you mentioned the museum, was the museum haunted before, or was it because of, as Jake said, because of the items that's been brought there?
I do believe there was some deaths in that building before.
Right.
Before it was a museum.
Right. Oh, you're just mixing up a powder keg right now.
So I'm going to ask a question now, and again, like, you can tell us to fuck off. If you ever do any investigations in the Northeast, would you send us the message and, like, say, I would gladly come along and, like, say, like, not just like I sit there and take the piss, but I would find it amazing and like fascinating to do.
And I promise I won't laugh.
Yeah, I'll give you a message.
Yeah, see, I mean that was kind of like putting a bit of pressure on him, like he's on camera with us.
No, I did tell him he can tell us to fuck off. I would be happy to say no.
No, because if you remember what I said at the start about new people coming with us,
Yeah.
I use them as bait. So
Right.
I send you off on your own.
We have a very dear friend of ours who does the Trekking podcast and joins us occasionally on here. Graham.
Right.
Graham would be an absolutely amazing to go along because Graham does have his skeptical side and he does have his belief side. And I just want to see Graham get scared.
I thought you were going to send Goodwill to the ghosts to sing Goodwill.
Goodwill didn't even cross my mind. Graham was like the
exercise the building for you.
But Graham would be a fun. Graham's a drag queen as well, so we'll have to get him in drag doing it as well.
Yeah, that's some energy. I want to quickly just ask about like equipment and stuff. Like I don't want to like go into like, oh, tell us what's on your utility belt, but like how do you feel about the way equipment goes? Is there anything that you kind of think, well, this doesn't make sense to be like a paranormal investigation tool? Because sometimes when I'm thinking like, okay, it's scanning like radio frequencies, it's like, is there a long history of ghosts being picked up on like radio waves? Like, does that factor into how you pick things? I know it's like a weird question, but like, is there certain things you shy away from because you're like, I don't think this would pick up a ghost? There's no like precedent for that.
No, not really. You know,
you just like to try anything just to see
if it makes sense. If it makes sense to me, I'll try it.
Yeah.
So, like, say, spirit box, I love them. You know, So the radio waves, frequencies, and the white noise, it does get you some great answers.
I have watched a lot of videos of spirit boxes being used, and wow, again, because it's like entertainment side of things, like would they put it that side of my brain, but at the same time, I'm like, these are they're very specific.
Yeah, they also like subtitle it for you as well.
On the point, like on the nose with it, and I'm like, there just has to be something behind it. And there's one that really got to us, and it stuck with us for a really long time as well. Was around the time when Cheyenne Watts, you know, the Chris Watts, and you know the whole killing of his family and everything. The voice that came through, I have heard her voice a million times. I went down rabbit holes with that woman over documentaries. I could hear her.
Yeah.
And it really, like, that really sat with us for a long time. I have a thing for the spirit box. I do get really like drawn into it.
Yeah, like I say, there's always new technology coming out all the time. There always is, and if people who know me, if they're watching, I've got to have it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a gadget boy.
I want it.
So you're the Egon.
Yeah. I've got to have it.
Have you got anyone who like tinkers with this stuff for you? You know, like to create sort of new things, like, because I'm guessing there's probably people all over the world who are sort of like messing with this kind of thing and trying to find like a new way. Have you got like any inside scoop kind of like, engineer guys?
No.
Not yet.
I say that with a big smile.
You are such a mystery, Lee. You really are. Your smile gives you away.
The thing is, we're affiliated with ghost equipment companies.
All right.
So we've got Ghost Stop in America and Spirit Shack over here. So once the new gear does get released, we kind of get a notification before anyone else.
Oh, that's interesting.
So yeah, but there is people out there who will try and make a cheaper version of these.
Yeah.
I've seen like the fake apps and stuff. Like you can get.
I got my nephew with one before.
You know, phone apps. That's another one in it. You know, people. But I've been given 2 apps what I think have only just been released. Can't obviously mention any names yet, but they seem to work because there's no signal or there's no word banks put into these apps.
All right.
It's just letters, and it will obviously sometimes it'll spell the word out correctly, or it might be a B instead of a D. So
yeah,
it will work with no phone signal or airplane mode on your phone. So
I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? Like if as long as like transparent about what the code is, then you can look for yourself and make an informed decision. Like, you know, is this something that has nothing I need to be suspicious of before I start using it?
Yeah. Well, like say the people who tell us about these things, they do give us a heads up on what codes you've used and what's gone into making it. So we do get the heads up, but we also trial the equipment before we take it out on investigations.
Yeah.
One thing that always like sticks with me in my head, and it probably comes back to like say when you mentioned the doll and like say the spirits or more than one spirit attaching itself to the doll. Is there anything that you guys do, or like? Because again, I'm not super religious or anything as well. Like to prepare yourselves or do to so it can stop the spirits or anything from attaching to you as you leave the premises or leave the buildings or anything like.
Ooh,
especially
like
when
ritual.
you spending when you're spending so long there type thing. Is there anything that you prepare, or is it just going guns blazing and come at us or something like that?
Well, going off the way I am, all guns blazing. All guns blazing. Let's do it. Let's get it done.
Yeah, because I suppose if something attaches to you and follows you home, then you've just got more evidence.
How do you think we test our new equipment out?
Bring on, just come on home with us, guys. It's fine.
No, I mean, if you worst comes to the worst, we do know people who can help. You know, I've been told before off mediums I've got an attachment. I'll speak to a medium that I know really well, and they'll say, "No, they're full of shit."
Right.
So it's So, you know, but
that's where I think that's where the scary side comes, because like, not to play devil's advocate as well, if they're telling people like that, imagine if they told someone who's got like slightly mental health issues and stuff like that, and that's the thing to be careful with.
So
I think
careful.
a lot.
My family have had a priest come to their home. My auntie's house is.
Oh, I remember you telling us about your auntie. Like she's the one that used to come into all the ghost stories and stuff and tell us all the spooky stories.
Yeah, she was. So I used to babysit my cousin at her house, and it would just be a normal night, and we used to do Nutella spoons. It was the one thing to keep her quiet. Put a load of Nutella on a spoon and just shove it in her mouth.
Yeah.
And just before I was about to shove it in her mouth, there's banging coming upstairs, like full on boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, what the shit is that? And she, as an 8-year-old, just walks on the stairs and goes, not now. Not tonight. And I'm
that
like,
makes it even more scary.
Who the fuck are you talking to? And she just says, she just passed it off as it's nothing, it's fine.
It's pipes.
And it's And I didn't think anything of it until me auntie was telling us that they've been having a lot of issues from one of the cupboards in Sarah's bedroom. And we walked into Sarah's room. She was showing us it's one of like an old airing cupboard where it's kind of like really deep in the back. And we walked in and it was ice.
Right.
Icy cold. So icy cold. And eventually it got to the point where these noises started getting more and more frequent, to where they had engineers out. Like my family are all tradesmen, so they all came out to have a look at what was going on behind this cupboard. Nothing could be explained, and my auntie ended up getting a priest involved, and he was explaining that a medium came with them as well, and explained that there was 2 kids trapped behind the door, and they're trying to get out. And they had a whole, bless the house and everything like that. And still to this day, my cousin bought that home. That room has been converted into stairs to lead up to the loft, because you cannot get the temperature right in it. It is still, to this day, icy cold. And it is a walkway. You walk through the door and there is stairs where her bed used to be that lead you up to the loft, because they cannot physically use that room anymore.
So you found a place for Lee to investigate next. So it's
Go to my auntie's house. But it was a whole thing. This actually happened. This is before Sarah burnt the house down.
what?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, chip pan fire. She burnt the whole of the bottom of the house down.
Jeez. What are you going to say?
Yeah.
Trying to warm that room up?
Yeah. That is a true
So-
story. That is a genuinely true story.
Bless you. But like I say, I know with the type of stuff you do, you must hear some stories though. Like people must tell
Oh,
you,
yeah.
like just they must. It's, I know it's one of the things you enjoy, but it must get to the point where you just like saying, "Oh, just go away, just leave us alone. Talk about something else for a little bit differently as well."
Yeah, my face kind of gives me away. So I think they just get halfway through the sentence, and then I think they just look at my face and go, "Yeah, he thinks I'm full of shit," or something like that. Which I do apologise, people who's investigated with me.
Now people are just going to be concentrating on your
On your
face.
face.
I know, yeah. I'll have to
It
start
just-
wearing a mask again.
It just means you're interested in the ghosts only, not the people. Yeah.
It's not.
He's
It's
focused.
making me look like a bad person, but no, I'm not. To be fair, it's very rare you get them. You do get the odd story that does get repetitive, not like
Right.
Chinese whispers.
Yeah.
So, but I'll probably know the full version anyway, or original version. I'll just say, yeah, but if you think about it this way, would it make sense? You know, things like that.
It's the
I
urban
won't just
legend
shoot
effect,
people
isn't
down.
it?
Yeah.
Everyone's got that story, don't they? That, you know, how many times have you had, like, because we have in the Northeast, the majority of our primary schools were all old Victorian schools, and the likelihood
Ghost
is
in the
there was
toilet.
Yeah.
ghost in the toilet. Yeah, we had it. Or
Classic.
ghost in the library. We had it all. Like they're all kind of like the
Do you
same.
know, one thing that's just reminders of that. Like, I'm sure when I was in school, one of the kids ended up like in the papers because they thought there was like an evil face on the ceiling. You know, like the parents had been like,
Oh, like
actually got the
Jesus in a
paper.
bridge, or something like
Yeah.
that.
well, not a nice Jesus face.
Oh.
But yeah, like I'm pretty sure that did happen. But to be honest, I don't think we asked many questions because he was kind of like the naughty kid in school. So no one really had much to do with him.
But I mean, it's like when you're a kid and you used to look in the mirror. You know,
Yeah.
it was
Oh,
Bloody
Bloody
Mary.
Mary.
Bloody Mary. Then it was Candyman. Then it
Yeah.
was.
Candyman.
now it's very serious where everyone's like, I'm scrying.
We did
It
we did an episode on urban legends where I got a mirror out and done Bloody Mary, and your wife was in the background. She turned the light off in the room and everything. I made a bloody scream.
We like to have fun.
But have you tried debunking any of these like urban legends? Like I know, I sorry to use an example. America probably has about 15 million of them. Like all the different times, but the UK, you don't really hear many urban legends. It's more like local stories or local history type thing that's been embellished.
Yeah,
Have you...
yeah, like it's all like ancient ghosts and stuff, isn't it? Like it's like, oh, the banshee and stuff, but it's not. There isn't many like modern ones that have gone around.
Our one in where I'm from was to do with Mary Ann Cotton, because I'm from Hauntley Spring, where Mary Ann Cotton's all. She poisoned her family and everything, and her kids and her husbands, and she's the one of, I don't want to say the last person because that's not true. Ruth Ellis is the last person to get hanged, but she was one of the last females to get hanged, especially in the northeast of England.
Yeah.
And ours was blonde hair, string of blonde hair with a gold ring, and it used to hang across the hand like you would with your pendulum. And if it swung, she was there. If it didn't, she wasn't. And that was our thing. Oh, God, that's just unlocked a lot of memories.
Yeah, there's loads out there, isn't there, you know. But to be fair, I very rarely come across them.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah, very rare. With our investigations.
Because we're not 12 anymore, and you know,
I know it's not. It's
there's
not the
more
same,
technology
is
out
it?
there than hair.
It's not the same anymore.
No.
That mystery's all gone now.
But because I know you mentioned before, you've got a few things lined up for the future. No, the 30 East Drive, the last viewing has now sold out. So have you got anything else that's coming up that you would like to promote or tell anyone other than the museum, of course?
Yeah, we've got a haunted hospital in Wales. That's in July. There is some places still available to join us on that if you'd like to do it. It's called Bronigarth
All right.
Hospital.
Oh, that is very Welsh.
Yeah. What else? We are actually doing one at the Galleries of Justice in Nottingham.
Oh.
So we have been there previously, and we did have one of our team, well, one of the team members pushed down the stairs.
Oh no!
Shit.
So, and that was going into the dungeons.
Right.
So I got the blame for it. Really.
I get the feeling you're the troublemaker of the group as well.
No, I'm the one who makes light of everything.
Yeah, you try and keep the mood.
Yeah.
Is Halloween a big time for you, or is it that you have time off?
Halloween, we don't investigate Halloween.
National holiday for ghost hunters.
Yeah.
It's our bank holiday.
Excellent.
No, because we have two children, we host a massive Halloween party.
Right.
Amazing.
And I mean, we open like the whole house up, and each room, each room's pretty much like part of a horror film, and
Amazing.
Then we put a marquee up in the back garden, barbecue and stuff like that. So,
awesome.
So
you should do something.
But yeah, I think last year I took it a little bit too far because I forgot how many children was there.
Oh, what did you do?
I got a Grim Reaper animatronic.
Right.
Oh, that's a way to scare the kids, isn't it?
Well, I put it at the top of the stairs, so every time someone had to go to the toilet, it'd jump out.
Perfect.
Until Grandpa goes up and has a heart attack in it.
Oh my god. Oh, that sounds amazing. I got married at Halloween. And I don't do anything.
Yeah, so we don't actually investigate the close to the 31st or anything like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
give the ghosts a night off as well.
For some reason, I really thought that was going to be your answer as well. That you didn't.
Yeah.
It's one
of things. Give it away.
No, I think as I said, that there's probably like inundated or that many things going on. It's just like, and especially
why
if
does
you
it have to be that day?
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, like I say, it's very cliche, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. The veil only appears on this day.
If I was a ghost, I'd be like, I'm not appearing on Halloween. That's like you say, that's cliche.
yeah. Go on holiday, don't you? Turn up at Christmas.
I know Sarah's been saying in the chat as well. I think we talked about it when we had the meeting. Like say, if you ever do the Northeast, I think the Empire Theatre, that's meant to be haunted by the ghost of Sid James as well.
Yes.
So you're supposed to hear his laugh
I've heard that.
every so often. And so that would be an interesting one to do up here. But yeah, because I know
He's full of suggestions, man. Leave him alone.
I know. Sorry,
a list 10 miles long.
Bless him. But no, because I know you've, like as you said, you've been up all night and finishing at 10 o'clock. So thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything else you want to promote us here before we kind of wrap up there?
No, guys, just follow us, follow the Haunted Museum, and people who are into the witchcraft side and fancy doing the tour, please follow Phasm Tours on Facebook as well, guys. Like I say, it is Liz Cornell, who is quite knowledgeable on the. I think she studied at a witch with Patty Negri. So.
Crazy.
Whoa.
We'll put the link in the description. I know we've got the link to your website and the Facebook page, but I'll put the link to that one in the description for the video as well. But yes, thank you so much for joining us, Lee. And I know how bless you, like I say, you must be knackered, especially getting in at 10 o'clock.
So
but yes.
It's amazing what Red Bull can do.
We're trying to wean Lee off that.
We're trying to get people off that stuff.
But yes, like I say, I know we've got a lot of plan this week as well. Sammy's going to be live tomorrow night as well for the first ever live Monsters episode.
That is correct. Tomorrow night we are celebrating our whole 1 year anniversary
Well
of
done.
Monsters Up North, and here we are going live. Live for the first, me and Dan. Oh, it's not my first live, obviously. But no, me and Dan are live tomorrow. I don't know the time yet, and it's only because I can't confirm with Dan if it's 7:30 or 8. But I will soon. I will tell you in the socials tomorrow. But tomorrow's episode is Reanimator.
Yes, that's all about Reanimator.
We're going into the Lovecraftian horror comedy that is going to have some very difficult conversations around, but surely will be a lot of fun.
Cool. Are you streaming this week, Jake?
We got video games. I don't know. I think Truck will. There's going to be some Euro Truck tomorrow.
Oh god,
Yes.
no,
sorry,
Tuesday.
No, Tuesday.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm all messed up because this bank holiday. But yeah, like me and Adam will be back with some video games on Wednesday, but we haven't planned anything. But yeah, join us on Twitch if you'd like. Nerdy Up North. We're Nerdy Up North everywhere. Just search it in socials. Something will pop up with one of us somewhere.
And next week's episode on the Sunday, we are talking about Starship Troopers. So that's going to be an interesting episode.
Excited.
But yes, do my part.
In my part.
But yeah, so again, as I said, guys, if you aren't following them already, follow the Boo Brothers on Facebook. Like the links in the description. I'll be putting links up on the Facebook page and then on the group as well. But like I said, check them out, and the Horror Museum. Like the more we've talked about, the more I actually want to visit as well. So
yeah, I'll get to buy tickets.
Yeah, I'll get a ragtag bunch of nerds to come down with us as well. But
Haunted Museum.
I'll be on my best behaviour.
Haunted Museum, not the Horror Museum.
Oh, sorry, the Haunted Museum. That's my fault. I'm never good with names, but yeah, the Haunted Museum, not horror. I was gonna say it again there for some reason. But yes, we'll get the links
next door though.
All right. So, but yes, so thank you so much, Lee, and I look forward to seeing and hearing more about your adventures as well. But same bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.